That would be nice. That would be helpful. True. Morning, Travis. We're talking about creation today, creation stories for a minute. Because creation plays into why everybody's here, right? Why are you here? Here anywhere. Here anywhere. It could be here on Earth, here on Facebook, here on YouTube, here on the internet, here in your country. Why are you here? Why are you here? What is your purpose? Do you have a purpose-driven existence? Why? Why are you here? I'm just curious. I want to know. Good morning, Georgia and Christine and David and Beaufort and Heaven and Eileen and Amanda. Good morning. Why are y'all here? Good morning. Good morning. Oh, George's out of Facebook jail. Well, that's the problem, girl. You're not supposed to say things CIA just does not like. Not supposed to say any things that are against human conflict. That's why I'm here. I think that's why I'm here. I don't like human conflict. I think it's stupid. I think it's dumb to fight with your cousins. I think it's dumb to continue to pretend that you're not all related and solve problems like you're all criminals, like you all are unrelated. I think part of that's why they hide the creation stories. I think that's why they make things up as they go. It's why they keep people believing that an omnipotent God would use scrolls and clay tablets to save the universe. I mean, think about it for a second. If you created creatures and planets and whatever, I don't know, genetic engineer, would you like encode all the information, the secrets on like clay tablets? Would you put them in scrolls? Would you give the dumb monkeys that you created the ability, the responsibility to actually send forward your message? Do genetic engineers do that? Did you do that when you had the ant colony, when you created put the little ant hill together? Did you just like say, ants, okay, whisper to them, ants, listen, this is what you do, and I'm gonna leave? Or did you drive the whole thing? Did you constantly utilize this? I'll ask another way. Does the CIA, who is potent, because they're not omnipotent, do they use scrolls? Or do they use 5Gs and wave energy technology, beams and internet and encrypted database? They use all of that. You think a God would use a scroll? Some pens and wood, paper and papyrus? I don't think so. I think that whatever that God thing is, always talking and use every means possible. I think it would be really stupid for God to use a scroll and be like, that's it. That's all y'all got. Go figure it out from there. That's one thing I think. The other thing I think, Let me see. Audio's gone. Uh-oh. Interrupting. Well, you know what? Yesterday it took a little while to get balanced. Let's give it a minute and see if it takes a little while. Let it think up what it wants to do. Let me share out. I'm running my mouth before I get going. Audio's freezing. All right. Well, new software does that sometimes. It balanced out yesterday, so let's see how it goes. Let me see. So wake up and wake up others. Okay, Patricia hears. Wake up and wake up others. Wake up to what? And wake others up to what? I got questions in there. Why are you here? Why are you here? Keeps freezing. Who do you want to wake up and why do you want to wake them up? And wake them up to what? Good morning, Trish and Susan and Rebecca and Ron and Jack. Why are we here? Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Linda. Sabra. Everything exists to perpetuate itself. Well, that was fun. Good talk, everyone. Great show. Everything's trying to survive, Beaufont. Everything exists to perpetuate itself. That's deep. Good morning, Donna. What the heck are you doing in Texas? Here for knowledge. Somebody's here for knowledge in the wrong spot. You better listen to them. I got questions. I'm not passing. I have my little bits and pieces of stuff, but here for knowledge. You think we're here to learn, Carolyn? You think maybe we're here to learn? We're here to learn what it's like to be decompartmentalized energy in a human experience, perhaps to gain knowledge. We're involved in some great experiment. Maybe. Might make some sense. All right, let me share this out. 2 more pages. Uh-oh. I got to change the privacy settings again. Everything with this new software is slow to get going, so I'm taking a little while before we get there. All right, there we go. Switch it over to public. So now you can share if you want to share and bring your friends into a discussion on just why are we here? Why are we here? And are you doing things on a daily basis to forward your reason for being here? Did something put you here? Are you here from some snot and primordial goo? Or did a creature put you here? I'm always questioning the universe. There are creation stories all over this planet. And I kind of think they're all right. I think they're all right. I think all of them are right. I don't think that ancient people write things down in times that people can't read for nobody to read them. I think they wrote them down because they are important, from the Aborigines to the Native Americans. I think that whatever God is, or the gods are, whatever that is, I think they took multiple whacks at it. You know why? Look at the humans today. Look at the humans today. You think that God got it in one shot? You think God got it in one shot? Do we get anything in one shot? Do we ever mess up? I look at how we mess up all over this planet. And I think that God probably took multiple whacks at getting all this together. All right, I shared it out to that last page. Let me know, are we good? Are we good to go? Can y'all hear? Audio freezing or anything like that? Any nonsense? How are we doing? Frozen stopped here. Oh, look, it frozen stopped for me too. I'm looking at me. And it frozen stopped for me. Well, let me go out on me and come back on me. And see if that fixes it. I closed everything out. Everything is closed out. There's a few other things I can do to try to streamline it that I'm still playing with, so I get there. All right, I went out and came back in on me. Looks like it's good. You are here and I am here. We are here, Deborah, but why are we here? What are we here? Are we here to do anything? Are we just here to kind of play this game of life? I'm here because I woke up wanting to see what's going on. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess we all woke up to a degree when we were born. Let me see. To show God's love. And how do we show God's love, Donna? Curiosity. How do you show God's love? I know how you showed it. And I appreciate that. I appreciate Donna every day. Oh my, I appreciate everybody, but goodness gracious. Y'all don't know who Donna is. Donna's a rock star. All right. All right, Trish says she can hear. Is the audio good? Are we good to go? We good to go? Are we good to go? Good morning. Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here wherever you're at work, or why are you here on earth? Why are you here in this solar system. What is the point? What is the purpose? See, I think God took a couple whacks at this. Whatever the God is, or gods, or whatever, I don't know. I think that they created here and created there and created there and created there, went over that continent, created, did something here. Might have been with the same species, different monkeys. I don't know. The humans, we kill ourselves off. They come back. They got to recreate things. They put things on an ark, data, DNA, whatever. I don't know how they do it. I won't convince you I know anything. I think there's something to it. I think there's something to it. And I think that we don't know enough about it to fight over. That's what I think. The other thing I was thinking about hell. What kind of parent would create a child and make a hell? Something ain't adding up to me. Something ain't adding up. I'm not sure I believe the official story there. And plus, I don't think that if I were a god, would I create a species and let King James and kings and lords and popes murder, raping, and pillaging actually maintain the scripture and edit it? I wouldn't do none of that. So I'm always looking at what makes sense. And if God is a father or a mother, whatever, would a parent create a hell for its child to be eternally damned forever? Or does a parent give a child endless chances? And I don't think parents give up on children. I don't think not human parents with a little moderate love. I don't think they give up on children. So how in the world would an omnipotent God ever give up on its creation? I don't think it ever would. So I don't think that it created a hell. I kind of think we're living in hell right now. I think we're in hell. I think we're here, and the actual hell isn't a place, but it's more of a repeat. That if we don't get it, like somebody said earlier, if we don't get it and we don't have that knowledge, that we got to come back and repeat back to hell. Because what in the hell could be worse than what we got now? What could happen in hell that's any worse than happening to kids in Yemen? Kids born in a trailer park or a ghetto. What could be any worse? How could it be any worse? Somebody born in Honduras. I don't think hell is any worse than this. I think the hell is the constant repeat over and over and over and over of reincarnation. That's what I kind of think. I don't think that it's hell per se. I think it's hell to never get it, right? It's hell to never get that purpose and figure it out. It's hell to never learn love and then transcend into some heavens or another dimension or whatever you want to call it. I think we're kind of here to learn. I think we're here to learn love, empathy. I think we're here to get rid of aggression. I think we're here to unlearn violence. Otherwise, you just keep repeating it. That's what I think. And I'm curious as to what y'all think. Yeah, messed up parents would, Lori. They absolutely would. Messed up parents would create a hell for their children, but not somebody that loves you, and certainly not agape love. We are here to create. I think so, Rebecca, because if a creator created us, then we would have that same wish and will that would get handed down to us, and we would want to do the same thing, as above, so below. To remember things we forgot in birth. If you talk to some, they say it's to have a meaningful relationship with an AI. Yeah, now that's an interesting topic too, Amanda. I kind of do think we are cyborgs, and I think AI is a tool, and we always merge with our technology, and I think we're always going to do that. We're not going to stop, whether it's a wheel or fire or a laptop, smartphone. You can't separate people from efficiency of tools. We're always going to make tools and merge with them, a garden hoe. We're always going to do that. But to remember things we forgot in birth. That's deep. That's deep. And why do we forget things at birth? If we are these spiritual creatures, why do we forget things at birth? Is that so we can learn? Do we like go through a memory wipe or something, like a reboot? And so past memories don't conflict with what we got to learn while we're here. But some things get passed down, don't they? I mean, we have cellular memory. Some things come forward. They learn that from the Holocaust and slavery and epigenetics. So some things do come forward. Where do they come from? And are we relearning? Are you talking about the sixth sense? getting outside of the five senses and becoming sixth sense type beings where we see beyond eating and seeing and smelling and hearing, like all the things that the majority of people seem to be so preconsumed with. That it kind of makes sense to me. To enjoy God's creation, but something went wrong underway. Did something go wrong, Christine? Did something go wrong, or is this kind of all part of it? Like, part of the reason I think there's not a hell, I think we make our own hell. I think that, wait a minute, might be something there, that we constantly repeat this. We're supposed to enjoy the creation, but we make our own hell because we refuse to accept the things that we were taught. Right? If our minds get wiped or whatever it is, we're put here on this planet that can be a heaven or a hell, and we make our own hell by refusing to thou shalt not kills, thou shalt not steals, to share food, share houses, and share technology. That's what I kind of think. But that's why I kind of think, Christine, we're coming into some sort of a new realm. I don't think anything goes wrong. I think it's all going right. It just hurts, right? And I think the deeper that we go down into that pendulum swings into more a hellish of a hell, we start to kind of wake up and progress back. So I think everything works well. Like, I don't think there's a good and evil. I think it's all probably the same thing, but it's the fact that evil gets so evil, we learn. That's why I think things are changing and people are more interested in like a sixth sense. I think they're tired of this. But why are you here? That's the question I'm asking people. Why are you here? What is your purpose? What do you do every day that progresses the reason why you're here? Humans, we were made on Monday, factory rejects. This planet is a department store equivalent of a Big Lots. Are we rejects, Patricia? Is that like on the theories of we're a prison planet and we were rejected and we were just dropped here because we just were useless anywhere else? Hell is for children, Pat Benatar. Ooh, Lori, come on. Outside of the fact that's Pat Benatar, hell is for children. So we don't ever grow up, we don't ever get mature, we will keep manifesting this hell, we'll perpetually live in hell. And maybe that's what that saying means, where we'll be eternally damned to hell if we don't ever grow up, mature, and do the things that are supposed to be in sync with our purpose. Thou art God. All the Brox is God. Robert A. Hankel. Stranger in a stranger land. I think we all are gods, Beaufont. I think that's right. I think that's consistent with what a lot of cultures around the planet speak about. But I think as gods, you have abilities that never really get turned on or you never really access because we aren't maybe holy, we're unclean, we're children, we never grow up, we're still in wars and conflict and violence and politics and forcing things on other people, using force and violating other creatures that are here to learn. And maybe you're promoted into some God status, whatever, and you go to the heavens after you learn love and not stealing and not killing. And maybe we are captive gods, and maybe that's why our memories wipe before we come here. Could be, could make sense. And if I'm scaring anybody, I'm not trying to scare you. I don't think that any of the religions got it right. I don't think that a god would use clay tablets and paper, not if a CIA uses encrypted databases. I think whatever God is or gods are, they talk to people all the time. I think you have intuition. I think it probably could use scrolls. I'm not saying it didn't, but I think it would use any means to communicate with its creation. I think if it loved its creation, it would. I think if God hated you, God would write some scrolls down. If God hated you, God would go to your oppressor kings and lords and give them scriptures to maintain and popes and to maintain. If God hated you, that's what God would do. But if God created you, went through all the fuss and muss, then I don't think God would just give one means of doing that. How do you communicate to your children? Do you at birth write something down and give it to them, give it to the teacher and tell the teacher to maintain scrolls for your kids, teach them out in school? No, I don't think so. You talk to your kids every day. You call them, you text them, you email them, you get them on Facebook. Sometimes my kids run from me. I talk to them any way I can. I got to chase them down anywhere I can find them. And I think as above, so below. I think that we have an issue. I think, who was it? Susan, who introduced me to that first quote. Everybody's so worried about the messenger, they forgot the message. And I think that's a part of maturing. Focus on the message, not the messenger. We're supposed to be all focused in love. Like, isn't that what natural law and all the original scriptures and scrolls and texts all talked about? We all either all work together or we all die as fools. We keep repeating this. We stay in hell. Neither the heaven nor the hell. Wait a minute. Neither the heaven nor the hell states of mind. Be one in the body or between the bodies is permanent. Yes, all part of a learning process. I think so, Ron. I think we're here to learn. But you know what? Why is it that you can't teach some people? How come some people aren't here to learn? How come some people, they pretty much got it figured out and they run for, I don't know, political office, whatever. They want to be leaders and they want to lead because they're correct on some things. I know I'm here to learn. I don't know enough to tell anybody any damn thing. I'm still trying to learn enough things about me and what I'm supposed to be doing to tell you what you're supposed to be doing ever. I think original blueprint for life has been stolen and hidden by the top evil people. Tony Turner, I agree. I absolutely agree. They always hide ancient archaeology, hide the temples, they hide the scrolls and the scripts. Because you know what? And I think for the same reason like yesterday with that whole alien thing from Lionel going on RT, I think that they don't really want people to know that there's another purpose, right? Because I think if you know that there is another purpose, then you won't go along with the king's purpose. That's what I think. I think if people start to see that there is a greater cause, people are going to go with the great cause. Why would you go with the greatest cause? Why would you go with the Democrats' cause? Why would you go to the Republicans' cause? Why would you go with Germany's cause? Why would you go with Russia or the Pentagon's cause? There's a greater cause, something that created all of this. And so that's why I think they hide it, Tony. I think they hide it. They play these games. We talked about the CIA classified Adam and Eve essay. I think that they classify things, obviously, that would show people that there's something greater than world conflict. We don't have a creator. Everything is in constant creation with itself. The process is self-existent itself. I kind of agree both on. I think that we don't really disagree, but I think that the Big Bang was a creation that created creation, creator creations. Did that make sense to anybody, or did I drink too much coffee? I think the Big Bang was probably God turning on his laptop like, and it created creations that create creations that create creations. That's what I kind of think. But I think something originally created it all. And I think all throughout there probably are other gods. I mean, I think it was only in recent times there was this idea that there was one God. I don't think that's true. Because even the religions that say there's one God, if you really read into the scriptures, they'll talk about other gods within the scriptures. So there are other gods. There may be other life forms develop faster than we do, and they become sentient and they ascend or whatever into the heavens with spaceships or transcendence or something. I don't know. And then they proceed to act as gods. I don't know. But I think we create, because we can't stop creating. We can't even stop ourselves creating. We got the who monkey and the sheeps and everything else. Soon we'll be making dinosaurs. We are manipulated by those we call gods. Perhaps we were initially greater love that has to be remembered by our soul. We are manipulated by those we call gods. Okay, and I just said that, Carolyn. Okay, I think that does make some sense. Perhaps we were initially greater love. I think we were greater love as children. I mean, you look at children, they definitely got something special about them. Like, kids are perfect to me. Kids are perfect. I'm gonna try to keep up with comments in two different places. I got the old ones here and the new ones there. But somebody said the Book of Enoch. Yes, Carol, the Book of Enoch is powerful. I tell everybody, read everything. You're supposed to study to show thyself approved anyway. Anyway, read everything. There are hints to who we are and why we're here in everything. Don't think any religions own any of this. They don't own any of it. All right. Those are just groupings put together by kings to control people. You know, read everything. All your ancestors wrote down things and drew on cave walls and scripted in clay tablets to try to tell you of something. So look everywhere, or you'll be a fool. You'll be ignorant. That's the right word. It's foolish and ignorant not to study everything. For mortal beings to understand mortality, fear, patience, and they have to shed their identities and come here to experience it firsthand. But why, Susan? I kind of agree with that. But why? What is the purpose? Is it to be gods and have our own creations and try to evolve them and bring them into a fullness of love? Because we live in a universe that's ever expanding and everyone's got their planets or their solar systems or their universes, and they have to become gods and love those creatures on those planets with limited resources, out of conflict over dumb things like skin color and continent and birth and the religions they create from your original message of love each other and work together? I don't know. Everyone is in their own timeline. Ooh, Jeannie, don't scare me now. That's some quantum physics stuff. I kind of think that is true. Jesus never claimed to be God. He claimed to be the Son of God and that we all are his children. I believe he was trying to teach people how to connect with the same energy he, Tesla, Da Vinci thought were able to tap into. And I agree with that as well, Susan. I think that's right. I think that everybody is a son and daughter of God. And Christ explained that. And Christ was one of these things and creatures or whatever that just never really fit in. In a time everybody was killing each other and stealing and robbing each other like they are today, the political parties and the nations, it stood out. Tesla stood out. Einstein stood out. Da Vinci stood out. You know, all of these great people who knew great things. I mean, even Gandhi stood out. Even Martin Luther King stood out. There's certain people who just didn't fit in the timeline at all. And I think they were injected, kind of how Jeannie was saying, everybody's probably in their own timeline to a degree. That makes sense to me. And I think that's why a God wouldn't use paper. Not alone. You know, a God would use any means. And one means is constantly reinforcing to your creation what it's supposed to be doing, reminding it it's not here to kill each other and rob each other over resources. That love is always the way. It'll bring technology, bring us forward and evolve to a point where we have an internet, an interconnected planet where we all can talk around the world and see what everybody is up to, see what all the governments are up to, which is always the same thing, making really dumb people to team up against other people to rob and steal from them, to deny them of something, as opposed to just loving everybody for the cousins that they are. The Aboriginal Dreamtime myths were very beautiful interpretations of creation. They were. You're talking about the mother, Jane. I think that's what we're talking about. I looked at that for a little period of time. They are, and I don't think they're myths, Jane. I don't think there's a set. I don't think I believe in myths anymore. I don't think I believe in mythology anymore. I think that everybody manifests their own things, and I think they probably saw those things, and I think there were multiple creations, and I think they were important enough that they were written down and hidden and sent forward in time to us. I think they were time capsules. All those scriptures doesn't mean that they were all right, but I think they wrote what they saw. And I don't think they were myths. I think they were things that we don't understand. Creators of the meaning of life. Did the creators create the meaning of life, Rebecca? Or the creator just another God that came before us? Religious martyrs are but messengers. That's what I think, Jeannie. I think people come to reinforce a message of love, and they get killed at the time because the monkeys are still wrapped up in violence, like today. You know, if you are actually making any sort of positive modifications of people going in positive directions, anti to conflict, you're censored or killed or disappeared. So I think, you know, it's always unpopular to bring a message of love. And so we always kill the ones who bring a message of love, because those who want power can only get power from having followers. And you only get followers if you have some sort of popular hate going to violate other people. We are here on planet Earth to care for it initially. I think so, Carolyn, and I think we care for it and it cares for us. We're supposed to be stewards. We can't seem to remain active in stewarding, though. We're all brothers and sisters. Amen. Yeah, we are, Norma, which is why we have to act like it. Have to act like it. We need to deal with our problems like it's all within the family. And within the family, do you call the police? Within the family, do you call the military? Within the family, do you go rob their room for oil and minerals? And so you can have health care and walls. All right. Jewel has it right. We are God's hand, God's eyes, IOW, the way unity consciousness experiences itself by dividing itself. And so, okay, Patricia, we're all one energy. We're all one energy, and we're having an experience divided, decompartmentalized to learn. That sounds interesting. Do you see what's happening here? Like, you're getting perspectives from all these different people, from all different walks of life, from all different countries, from multiple faiths, and it's coming together. Even from, there's a lot of ancient archaeology that people are dropping in here, and it's starting to form a picture. And that's what I do when I read scripture. I try to look for the picture of what God really is, and perhaps what it isn't. What consolidatively it would probably say and what it wouldn't. What it most probably would do and what it wouldn't. And we can find that in nuances of what we do, how we live our lives as parents, when we're enveloped in love for our children. Because then you can start to weed out what the kings and lords have done to scriptures and done to religions and the dogmas they've created, how they've turned people who are supposed to be stewards of the planet, loving everybody, into murderers and killers. Voters. Let me see. Creation of banks and worthless paper has also doubled down on this evil we live under. It has, Tony. It has. Which is why the only time Christ got upset is when the money changers were in the church. You know, how often was Christ involved in politics? Anybody? Bueller? Bueller? Any Christians in the house? How often was God politicking for the conservative Jim effort with Caesar? How often? Did God have a voter card? Did Christ vote? Did Christ have a voter card? Did he like Caesar? Did he engage with Caesar? Did he write laws? Did he get behind legal efforts? But did Christ have absolutely nothing to do with it? Did Christ have a bank account? Did Christ have money? Did Christ spend money? Did Christ like money? Did Christ even ever talk about money or banks other than getting upset, pissed off, and turning over the tables? God is a storyteller. I think God is a storyteller, no, and I think we all are storytellers too. I'm not a brother or a sister. I'm too old. I'm a crazy stoned uncle. People bring out for holidays. All right, David. Let me see. The timeline idea helps me gift the benefit of doubt easily. The timeline idea helps me gift the benefit of doubt easily. I'm not sure, Gene, where we're going on that one. I'm gonna get down. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see. For my good deed today, I'm gonna remind some fish to get connected to the water they're already in. Where are you going with that, Patricia? Are you trying to say that fish don't destroy their own ecosystems, that fish don't destroy their own water, that fish are smart enough to live in balance with the water that they actually have to survive in, that fish don't have banks and monetary systems and central banking and government and live on forcing other fish to live a certain way? Perhaps. So I don't know. I don't know why we're here. I don't know why we're here. I'm not convincing anyone. I think that all the creation stories are probably true to a degree. And I think that they were real experiences that creatures had and they wrote them down, and we can either learn from that or not, that we're constantly reset and restarting. Something's constantly having to recreate what we destroyed, not just each other, but probably ourselves. Perhaps. I'm gonna try something here. I made some changes this morning. I don't know if YouTube is going to be able to hear the video, but there are different configurations I can do. We have to get back to a place where we can actually play some type of video sometime. So I'm gonna see if y'all can get the audio on something here as I look at the news. So I do my best to remind myself why I think I'm here, what I think I'm supposed to be doing, and look at the modern world in the news and things people tell you, the things people are up to. Let's see how this works. I think it serves as a primer, like it serves as a balancing point. I think you're living out of balance if you watch the news. I think you're living out of balance if you're political. I think to live in balance, you have to constantly be reminded why you're here and what you're supposed to be doing. That way you don't get too busy and bogged down at doing things that you ain't. You don't get too busy and bogged down with people that you shouldn't. Toxic things don't get to you as much. You're not worried as much about it. You understand that all things work out the way they're supposed to. I'm gonna try to click on something that I think is relatively somewhat important, unless y'all see something that's interesting. But Epstein is everywhere, isn't it? Epstein is everywhere. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. Y'all can't stop. And you shouldn't stop. All right, here we go. This is interesting. Brain control. There's an app for that now. Of course, there always has been an app. The kings and lords have always wanted to control our brains. Hold on. Let me see if YouTube, can y'all actually hear? I don't even know what the heck what just happened. Can y'all hear this? Something funky's happening. It does not want me to play video. Hold on. All right, here we go. Hang on, something. Hold on. This is a little too much. Things aren't going right this morning. I have to pause it while I try to get the video to work right. Anyone on YouTube, can you guys hear what's going on? So mind control has always been a thing, like weather control. Mind control and weather control have always been a thing. There we go. It's a little bit better. All right. Here's what I want to show right here. They've always been a thing. He who controls the weather controls the planet. They control the human race because weather is required for growing food. Weather is required to live. Weather is required for everything. Weather modification is a thing. If you're one of your reasons that you're here is climate change, tight climate change, then you need to look into weather modification. All right, let me take that back a little bit. I find it interesting on the why are you here conversation, mind control, right? Why would anybody want to control your mind? Well, I think for the same reason that they would return and give you scrolls and Jesuses and Muhammad's and things, because if they actually can drive you, they can control your purpose. Very dangerous. Yes, Christine. Very dangerous. Something we shouldn't be messing with. Very dangerous. Something we should leave alone. Part of why I always go back to there can't be any secrets. If there are secrets, then they can control why you're here. I want to go back to some weather modification stuff for the next thing. Who believes in geoengineering? Who believes that our elites are trying to modify the weather? Who believes that they got that damn harp ship? They got the weather patents back in was the 50s, and they all signed the weather pact to that they would only modify the weather in their own countries. Who thinks that's real? Or does anyone think that that's not real? I was clicking around yesterday and I ran into good old JFK and Lyndon Johnson. Check this out. Presidents. Protracted droughts and storms. Anybody have any trouble with droughts and storms? I'm not gonna play the whole thing. You know, I'll post the link. But it's like, because I was talking to someone yesterday about weather modification. And weather modification has always been a thing. You know, it's like when you invaded someone else's land, what would the invading force do in ancient times? They would salt the earth. Why would they salt the earth? Because if they salted the earth, it means that you couldn't grow crops. You couldn't raise an army because you couldn't feed anybody to fight back. So you were captives, right? They salted the earth because they didn't have weather modification. If the kings in the 1200s had weather modification, all they would do is cause a lot of rain or drought or too much sun, and you can't grow crops and you can't fight back. You know, human populations are being displaced. And I think it always goes back to what it always goes back to, right? I think that possibly even JFK was perhaps killed for weather modification. Like, am I reading between the lines here? Because I'm listening to him and I hear what he's saying, but I'm also hearing a little more than what he's saying. Like, he's talking about nuclear, but he's going a bit far in terms of like long-term effects of weather modification. That's not what nuclear is actually for. Certainly not nuclear testing. So it seems like he's talking about two different things. And I think that the only way, even your leaders now, the only way they can talk to you is between the cracks, and you kind of fill in the gaps. I'll absolutely post the link. All right, so I'm gonna stop there. He's talking about open source. He's giving you a warning. He's telling you that you can't just let government do this, right? That they need to be in conflict with or consultancy with industry, with education. But now you have something that they all seem to report to, right? He gave warnings a long time ago, and I see that on YouTube. You don't actually, you can't hear it, and that's why I'm gonna stop with it. I made some modifications. I was hoping you could hear it, but you couldn't hear it. So JFK, he explained this a long time ago that government should not be doing this alone, and he was government, right? He was actually chastising of government while he was in it, which is part of why I think he's not president anymore, part of why I think he's not alive anymore, because he was self-correcting. He explained that you can't have a powerful entity called government that has weather modification tools, that they will always make mistakes. You got to have a check and a balance to everything. So that's one of the major drivers outside of religion and why we're here is weather modification. If you control the weather, you control everything. You don't need tanks. You don't need bombs. You don't need guns. You don't need nukes. All you need is weather modification. And it's the greatest weapon on the planet, too, because, see, we can chastise our government for nukes. We can chastise them for tanks. We can chastise them for dropping bombs on people. But you can't chastise them for the weather, because how do you know they did it? How do you know they did it? If they want Venezuela, in which they do, whoever owns America, all they got to do is just bring about drought conditions. And as the farms die, the people leave. And then they go and get all the oil they want. There's so many questions this raises. Weather modification is the whole reason why I don't vote. I know I said that there was like 8 other reasons, a couple thousand reasons why I don't vote, but this is another one. Why? Because climate change is real. The climate is changing. People are dying, right? And if government has the ability, they have the patents, they signed the act, then we know it was a threat. We have a president explaining how much of a threat it was to the future and that we need this to be completely open source and to know always what's going on. But obviously, it's all classified. It's all classified. So you have no idea what's going on. You don't vote in a world where you have no idea what's going on. That's just dumb as a bag of bricks. That's why I asked a question the other day. So if you're in a dark cave, you don't know where to go. Do you just start walking any random direction? Or do you wait till you turn the flashlight on? That's how I kind of see voting. I kind of see it as, people are stumbling and bumbling around in a cave with politicians they don't know, up to things that they can't see, in places that they never go. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You're literally voting blind for things that you have no idea about. I think we need an open source government. I think that JFK was trying to tell us we need to be worried about these secret societies, and we're not. We're okay with the secret societies. We're okay with all the lies. We're okay with everything that goes on, and we still consent and we vote for more secrets. That's a problem to me. That's a problem. All right, Augustine, it didn't work. What I'll probably do is, I don't know if I can change a modification while I'm on here. We have to get back to some sort of place where you guys on YouTube can hear as well. I don't think I can change the configuration while I'm live. Try to change one of the mic configurations. I think that's why you actually can't hear it. I was thinking it was the CIA, Augustine. I don't think it's the CIA. I really don't think that they care. I think that they have a lot more to do. I think you got learning software that probably censors everybody. They don't have any interest, I think, in us because they know we have no power as we are in our current state. As we are in our current state divided, there's no reason for our kings and lords to be concerned or worried about what we're talking about or what we're doing or what we're saying. All right, I think we froze up. I just saw a whole bunch of drop-offs. So I think part of it's because I clicked on this and I shouldn't have clicked on it. All right, video interrupted. Yeah, well, it's still going, but I clicked on something, and I think when I do that, it holds things back. So let's see. Oh, there we go. Wow, that was weird. See, that didn't make any sense. This is getting weird to me. This is getting weird to me because it just showed me there were 3 people here, and magically now again there are 20. And either everybody all together hit the reset button, or there's a function where they modify view counts. And this is why I say I don't trust the view counts. I don't trust the view counts at all. I don't think everybody did it that quick, but anyway. All right, let me go back and read some comments. But these are reasons I can't vote. I can't play the news till we get that sorted out. But why are you here? Why are you here on Earth? I mean, geoengineering is real. It's very real. Why? Because the kings and lords have always engineered things for war, to prevent conflict, to enslave people. You just saw the news right there of them, and I'll post the link so you can watch it on YouTube, of creating an app that actually controls the human brain. You got Elon Musk, who talked about the implants that are going in. If you guys watched, it was like my goodness. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched a Truth Stream Media did a breakdown on Elon's latest project. of creating the probes to put inside of people's brains to actually upload and download information. Control, power. That's what it's always about. It's always about control and power. So with a government that has weather modification devices, who has a population that's okay with them keeping secrets, would they not use that power? And I think they would have to. I think they would be obligated to by common sense and by the requirements of power. Weather modification could be a good thing, but the people who control all the tech have a profit agenda. As long as we have a money-based society, we will never know the truth, what they're doing, and the lack of motive to use it for good instead of harm. Absolutely agree, Susan. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Technology is never bad. Technology is never bad. Technology is always a tool. It's a tool that we can help, or it's a tool we can use to hurt. And if you have a society that's based in human labor, which is what a monetary society is, you can't have money and freedom. You can't have them. The two will never exist together, because the whole purpose of money is control of human behavior, right? You go to work to get money. They literally control your behavior by it. So I agree with you. And I hope you all see what she's saying. As long as you have money, technology won't be used for good. As long as money exists, technology tools will be utilized to collect more money, whether you're a corporation, a government, a system, or a person. Absolutely agree. Money has to go. And that's why I say, and people don't like it when I say that one, money has to go. Money has to go. You want to emancipate, proclamate, get rid of money, and slavery comes to an immediate end. As long as you got money, somebody is always a slave. He who controls the weather controls the world. Exactly, Christ. That's exactly right from Christ's mouth to y'all's ear. If you control the weather, you control everything. You don't need bombers. You don't need Raptor 35s. You don't even need 5G. You don't need any of it. You can herd the population where you want, and you can make them herd back. You can make another country do whatever you want, give you their oil, their resource, their mineral, turn their whole nation into slaves if you control the weather. And to think that government wouldn't want that is the dumbest thing on the planet. It would violate their whole purpose of an existence. They exist for power and control. That is the most powerful controlling thing on the planet. JFK Jr. Oh, hang on, I'm gonna ask a question. Augustine, can you hear music in the background? That's what I want to know, real quick, because you can't hear YouTube, but can you hear music in the background? You're helping me troubleshoot this. JFK Jr. knew they'd whack him just like they did his dad and his uncle. When asked about running for president while sitting with Trump, he referred to the reporter to Trump instead. And then he had a suspicious plane crash anyway. Well, yeah, well, the Kennedy family, Patricia, they were one of the ones who were involved in those rounds. And for whatever reason, they changed. And they tried to tell us how these secret societies work, and we refused to listen, and they murdered them, and we let them get away with it. And people are voting to keep that world in existence. So, I mean, but that's a good example. And that's what I think you should be doing, is watching the news and looking for the nuance, looking for the between the crack information, because it's never going to be public and apparent whatever is really going on. And so him passing that over to Trump, that would be the right thing to do. Otherwise, he wouldn't be popular. The people who run this are capable of everything. And they got most of the population of America and the other countries behind them. So they don't have to fear killing anybody. Geoengineering is exactly what led me to the anarchy principle. I would say it's not what led me to, Rebecca, but it definitely is a reason to be there, right? If like we can talk about the starvation in Yemen, the famine, like we're literally starving millions of people to death, 100,000 children, it's probably 150,000 by now that we actually starved to death. That's nothing in the face of geoengineering. It's nothing. That's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket. You can starve millions of people through geoengineering. How in the world would anybody think it's a good idea for governments or corporations to have any kind of secrets when geoengineering weapons exist? I mean, just Chiquita Banana being a great example. I always go back to Chiquita Banana. So they hired thousands of paramilitary for banana plantations. murdered a bunch of people, took over entire towns to plant bananas. Bananas. Dude, what do you think corporations who need coltan will do? Corporations that need uranium. What do you think they'll do to scare people off of the lands where they can get that? What do you think oil companies would do with weather modification? You know, a lot of it is so common sense, it's ridiculous, Rebecca, but that is a great reason to say no to the current model of the world. We can't go on like this. We cannot continue, because thine will never be done. Thine will can't be done if you control the will and behavior of billions of human beings. Thine will is pointless and purposeless. If I don't really understand this whole conservative political thing. Oh, the money made with weather manipulation. And outside of that, Rebecca, right, the banana plantations and the money made, the power gained. Think about the power gained from controlling the weather in another country. We are fudged. Plain and simple, excuse the language, I'm tired. Well, Grace, we're all tired. We are all tired. I don't think we are. Because we have JFKs, we have Martin Luther Kings, we have Gandhis, we have Nikola Teslas. Something is constantly sending higher evolved creatures or beings or just enlightening people who seem to kind of give us just what we need just when we need it. So I'm tired, but I don't think we're screwed. I think we're learning. That's why I asked the question, why are we here on earth? And I think it's to learn. You know, there's a scripture that says, accept what God allows, right? And God allows all of this. So all of this has a purpose. You know, evil comes to you, and it comes to you to teach you. You know, anything that doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So I don't think we're screwed. I think we're all going to die, but I think we're learning from it. When the hell do we get Gerard top fan badges? Okra. Yes, because you say okra. That's why I got a top fan badge the other day, Bofan. Two or three other websites last night. Is this like a weekly thing? Because I got like 3 of them last night. I was like, damn it, I'm winning Facebook. I'm winning. What the hell are you talking about, you winning Facebook? This is a literal game, people. Facebook is a game. Don't take it so seriously. Don't get so bent out of shape by your comment sections. It is a game. I got top fans, so I think I'm winning. But when you post about Oprah Bofont, you lose points. All right. Geoengineering, terrible deep state of affairs. Absolutely, Leanne. And what is it? I think, did you try to post the website geoengineering.org? Y'all need to check it out. You need to check it out. That's the first stop. When people start thinking you're crazy because you're talking about weather weapons, just send to geoengineering.org. You'll have all the scientific papers you need. You'll have all the whistleblower testimony you need. You'll have all of the Freedom of Information Act requests that you'll need. You'll get everything that you need from geoengineering.org. Who's that? Dane Wiggum. So all you got to do is go look it up. And it might change how you think about things in the world. That's why I send all my climate changes. We got to stop. We're destroying the Earth's ecosystems. They're dying because of the oil companies. I'm just like, they're dying. I'm not sure because of the oil companies. You know, focus on a few things that, you know, weather's being modified on Saturn too, right? Across the universe, the temperatures are changing. Things are always happening. We're a part of a larger ecosystem than just the Earth, but also that you can't have kings and lords with weather modification devices. That's the dumbest thing on the planet because you literally live under the weather. You might like your government now. You might like your political party in power now, but you eventually are going to be under the weather of someone you don't like. That's why you can't have power. You can't give people ultimate types of power over planets like weather modification and keep voting for it. That's why we have to have some common sense, real basic priorities. And to me, weather modification, it's a priority. How could anyone vote for this? That's what I guess boggles my mind. You wouldn't marry somebody who had a secret cell phone. You wouldn't be in conversation with someone who had secrets from you. You wouldn't have friends who keep big secrets from you. But a government that keeps weather modification, come on. We got serious problems to worry about, and it's not anything the politicians are talking about. JFK had the video spinning. Okay. Let me see. The breadbasket was flooded months ago, thousands of acres of farmland still underwater along the rivers. Right, Rebecca, and that's reason alone right there, right? Cost of food. What happens when cost of food goes up because the breadbasket's flooded? Americans get grumpy. Why they get grumpy? Because the price of bread goes up. That's why they call it the bread basket, but they grow corn and other things too. And the price of gas goes up because they get a lot of that E85 from the corn too, right? So if the price in the processed food, they get all the corn sugars from the corn crops. So if the price of food goes up, what happens? People get moody. They can't buy food. They get more aggressive. They get more violent. They do things called crimes, right? And what happens when that happens? Because people can't get food, you get upset. So you tell your government, you need to take my rights. We need more police on the streets. We need more police state, right? And so it's not even like whether modification can be used against other nations. They can be used against your own population, extremely effective, right? Like, look at the news. I mean, it is beyond empirically obvious that government uses a left and a right in America to keep power, right? They get dummy A fighting dummy B, so nobody's looking at the main dummy, the top ignorant dummy, right? And so why wouldn't you do that with weather modification? Of course, if people are fearful, they're voting more power to government because they're scared of their neighbor. And then the end walks all the gun control and all this stuff. And so it's, to me, it actually is common sense. It's common sense. The only purpose of a business is to make money, period. That's it, make money. Anything that is legal is allowable. And so, of course, government and if corporations own the government, they literally buy legislation. You'd have to be one of the dumbest companies in the world to not buy some legislation or buy some sort of weather modification project that's top secret to modify the weather in a place where, I don't know, you can make more money. And I think not like a requirement. Doesn't the SEC require that the board do what what's maximally profitable in buying politicians is? All right. Elon Musk, star man in space. I like Elon Musk, Leanne. He's my favorite billionaire. He's crazy as the day is long. Just tuning in. Good morning, brother Greg. Let me see. The spice must flow. Go on, Beaufont. The spice, the spice must flow. Right. And I think that can be represented in many ways. It's not spice on our planet. He's referring to Dune. If you haven't seen Dune, it's a great documentary. You should watch it. The spice will always flow, and they'll fight over control of the spice and call it coltan, call it oil, call it bananas, call it food, call it bread, whatever it is. We live on a planet that's abundant. We can feed everybody and take care of everybody. And it's our choice whether we want to do that or not. I say it every single day. But people want to go into politics and be in conflict over somebody else to rob from them because they get more people on their side than the other side, but everybody can have what they want. It's just the dumbest thing to continue with this nonsense. Weather acts of God, not anymore. Yeah, I don't think weathers are acts of God, Rebecca. I think they're acts, and I don't think they're really even acts of like Democrats and Republicans, because I don't think they have any power in any of this. I think they're just there to keep the people divided. They probably promised a bunker key or I don't know, storm shelter or something. But if the people who own the banks and own the weather modification companies and patents, we don't know who they are. We don't know who they are. We don't know who these billionaires and trillionaires are. Why would we continue to vote for this? As long as we're caught up in keeping track of who has how much money, we won't be able to act as if we are caring, sharing family, which is why money has to go, Ron. Money has to go. Good morning, Adrian. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning. Good morning. Let me see. I'll bet we'll end up finding out the weather was modified at Standing Rock in the week before eviction, which would make sense, Greg. It would make sense to make it. I don't know what happened. I remember at one point it was snowing and they were shooting water cannons at people. It makes perfectly good sense. Why would government not use a tool? Why would the oil companies not use it? They know they can buy it. Why wouldn't they do it? Of course they would do it. Very plausible. Like just how they salted the earth. Hell yeah, they'll freeze the land. It makes perfectly good sense. It's common sense. There are humans, there's corporate entities. What motivates evil should be avoided on all levels. Money, greed, gain. Gain is the root of all evil, period. Love is its enemy. It absolutely is, Carolyn. And so said that way is why I tell people that you're a human. You're literally a human being. You are a biological creature. You have no business siding with a system, a corporation, or a party. You are a biological creature of Earth. Political parties are not biological creatures of Earth. Governments are not biological creatures of Earth. Corporations aren't. We should always be on the side of Earthlings before systems. Absolutely. Besides the fact it's the greed that's destroying everything. We live in a dualistic end. All right. Great website. Yes, geoengineering.org. Thank you, Rebecca, for posting the link. Let me get the last couple of comments, get out of here. We were all going to die anyway, right? Live in love or fear. What are we going to do? Comfort each other, be kind, love each other, care, everyone wins. And that's what I think, and that's what I think how you get out. You can't have any fear. You absolutely can't. Every decision that you make on fear is a bad decision. You can't have any fear. That's why I think that scripture in there is wrong. I don't think fear God. I don't think that was written by anything that is a father or mother to us. I think that was written by man. I think that was one of the edits. There's no parent on this planet that wants his child to fear them. Every decision made in fear is a bad idea. Every decision made in love, every decision made in love a good idea. Every decision made in love is definitely on a good intent. And I would say it's always a good idea. If your decision is made in love, it's a good idea because it means your heart's in the right place and you're trying to go in the right direction. It might be the wrong thing and it's got to be tweaked. It may not be a root cause or a root fix, but everything made in love is going the right way. Always err on the side of righteousness. Always err on the side of love, not on the side of fear and hate. And what is politics all about? 100% about fear. What is law? Fear, right? You're telling the citizens they have to do this or else. Be fearful of this. Be fearful of fine. Be fearful of armed men coming to your door. Be fearful of being thrown into a cage. You don't make any decisions on love. And that's why I'm completely against law in every way, shape, form, and size. And that's what government is. It's about writing law. It's a complete model based in fear. Maybe that's why Christ wanted nothing to do with government, nothing to do with Caesar. Maybe that's why they're completely opposites of one another. One is all about love and take care of each other. And the other is all about be fearful and terrorism, legislated terrorism. Like people fear the terrorists. There's no terrorist that I need to fear. There's no terrorist that I need to fear that's 3,000 miles away. All the terrorists I know, they're like 300 miles away and right down the street. All the terrorists are local. All the ones writing the law to give me fear, to terrorize me from doing anything that they never had a constitutional right to take away. They're all right down the street. So I don't write terrorists to me. They don't wear bandanas. They don't, they don't do none of that. They don't strap bombs to their chest. They unfortunately author legislation. They take away my rights. And that doesn't mean that, all legislation is bad, but if it's based in fear, it's terrorism. It's legislated, authorized terrorism. All right. Hashtag we all gonna die. That's it, Patricia. We ain't figured the game out yet. We all gonna die. It's all about how you live. Are you living in love or are you living in fear? Weather modification relocates all life, not just humans. Yes, Carolyn, it does. And we're killing off ecosystems. That's why we got a growler bear. We got a species of whales that are dying. But how many, something like a couple hundred species of insects go extinct every week or something crazy like that? There's like a couple dozen mammals, I think, a year. And so it's not just about us. It's about being stewards. Are you a steward of the planet if you're destroying and modifying, if you're destroying life by modifying weather or letting your government do that and being okay with the profit they make from that so you can have health care, so you can have universal basic slavery income, so you can have walls to prevent the humans who are trying to come to your land because their land's being devastated by your weather modification and your deep state and flipping governments all the time. Is that being a steward? Why are you here? Why are you here? You know, are you here to cheer the 1% destroying the planet? Are you here to be some kind of a steward? I think I'm here to be a steward. That's why I take the positions that I do. I take the positions that I do because I think I'm supposed to be a part of a whole. I'm not supposed to be me. I'm not always right. Seldom am I right. I'm rightish. I'm rightish. But when I travel deep and I got a bunch of friends, we tend to not be wrong. We tend to be in the realms of where we need to be. We tend to be going in the right direction. And that's the whole point too, there is that any decision made in love is a right one. That's the right one. Any decision made in fear is horrible. Why are you here? Are you here to deploy fear or are you here to deploy love? The proposed 16 mil budget plan boosted our enemies' growing capacities to plant and remotely activate dormant fungi via biological weapons. You know what that means. He who smelt it, dealt it. Wow. 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 But I'm not surprised, Miss T. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that we would, I paused for a minute because, you know, people in America who can't even buy food, you know, people in America, children specifically, don't even have any food. We got all this money to send all around the world to kill all kinds of people and also grow food. Okay, you read it in its entirety. Well, thank you, Miss T. That's how you know your government is not your government. One of those ways. They don't ever do anything for you. They do things against you. They do things to terrorize you. They do things to terrorize your enemies and strengthen your enemies. Why? Because the more enemies you got against you, the more you run to your government. That's how it works. They give you more enemies. They strengthen your enemies. You're more scared of your enemies, so you run to them. And you're controlled. So that's really what it comes down. That's my only question for that. Why are you here? Think about it and live it. I get it going. This is Gerard. I'm out of here. Y'all have a great day. Love y'all to death now. I am gone. I'll post a link for JFK.